There are some sessions that will be held in non-English, but there will be an English channel on Webex, so you can choose that. You are most welcome, sir. Hi, hello. A greeting from Indonesia. For your information, we will have some speakers that are speaking in a non-English. And in Webex, we do have a globe button in the bottom left corner. From there, you can choose your language preference, including English. For other notes, please let us know if you need to check your audio or video so we can help you out. Thank you. Yes, we can hear you, Craig. We still haven't seen your video, but we can hear your audio. Now we can see. Yes, we can see. Yes, we can hear you clearly, sir. You are most welcome.
우리가 오케이 Thank you very much. その通りです。
poin ke todo 중간중간 힘든 사람들 알아서 주세요. 우리 몰라서 알아서 보세요. 지금 같은 챙겨주겠다.
Good morning. We are the People's Bank of China.
Yes, hello, we can hear you.
Can you see me and hear me?
Yes, we can see you and hear you well.
Thank you.
You're most welcome.
That's one.
Okay.
现在是 on。Good morning, colleague. I just want to test once again. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, hello. We
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah.
We can.
Thank you.
Yep.
Welcome principals and delegates of the Third Finance Ministers and Central Bank Governors meeting. We are hoping for productive discussions today, but first, please take your seats.
The mute button is green. So I don't know
Principals and delegates of the 3rd FMCBG meeting, welcome to the main meeting room. The meeting will begin momentarily, so we urge you to take your designated seats. Thank you.
Good morning.
Ladies and gentlemen, the meeting is about to begin. Please take your seats.
Good morning. Okay, dear colleague, please take your seat. We will start our meeting. Thank you so much. Let us start. Dear colleague, our fellow ministers as well as governors, heads of international organizations, ladies and gentlemen, I would like, with Pak Peri, we both would like to welcome you to the third meeting of the G20 Finance and Central Bank Governors. I'm delighted that so many of you, despite many challenges, could join us here in Bali in presence and also to have our physical meeting here in the island of Gods. You are all maybe has already familiar with Bali. Bali is a place in which we are famous for our hospitality as well as magnificent scenery. Although Pak Peri has already created a very nice ambience to all of us to meet here by providing you with a little bit glimpse of Bali, but this is not definitely a substitute for you all to still come out there and enjoy a real Bali outside this room. So I will encourage you to do that, of course, after our meeting and after we have a good result. Pak Peri and I will make sure that you have a good experience during your time staying and having this meeting in Bali. For those of you who are joining us virtually, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening in different parts of the world. Before we begin, on behalf of all members and attendees, let me offer first my deepest condolences to Sunichi-san and Haruhiko-san. We are all in this, and also for all the Japanese delegates, as well as the people of Japan. This is for the tragic death of former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. Prime Minister Abe was one of the greatest global leaders, as we were fortunate to see firsthand during Japan 2019 G20 presidency. So our thought as well as prayers are with you. For our meeting today, we are going to begin by also extending my deep gratitude for all your active participation during our meeting, as well as during our very difficult, but sometimes it's very fruitful consultation and communication with you all. I really appreciate for all countries, international organizations, the G20 members, as well as all invitees. You are all conveying a very encouraging message to us, that is, you strongly support Indonesia G20 presidency. And this is really a very good asset for us to continue maintain in leading as well as navigating, managing this very, very challenging year for us as a G20 presidency. When we last met in April, it was in a very challenging circumstances. And today, we are meeting with the challenging circumstances which even more deepen. So this is something that I do understand that all of you, all of us here, are facing with a very...
Camera, but how do I make sure that my backdrop...
Okay. We are all facing a very difficult situation to manage as a finance ministers as well as central bank governor. We are witnessing an alarming increase in risk to food security as the impact of the war in Ukraine and sanctions as well as export restriction, which are exacerbating the effect of the COVID-19 pandemic. These are all has driven food prices to record level. We are likely to see these challenges to be global, to the global economy that will persist, and we need to address this issue, how to avoid the food price that keep even increasing. With the increasing food price, this could push millions more people into a state of food insecurity. According to the World Food Programme, the number of people facing acute food insecurity has more than doubled since 2019 before pandemic, from 135 million to 276 million. There is an urgency with which the food crisis should be addressed. The deployment of all available financing mechanisms is immediately needed to save lives and strengthen financial and social stability. Moreover, good macroeconomic policy has also become fundamentally important that have helped many countries weather the crisis. Another very important commodity which creating also a huge challenge to all of us is the energy. The global energy landscape has been radically changed or reshaped. Energy commodity prices are skyrocketing. I'm sure all of you as a finance ministers as well as central bank governor are seeing this as a threat to our macroeconomic stability as well as a conducive environment for us to maintain recovery. The World Bank estimates that crude oil prices increased by 350% from April 2020 to April 2022. I think we are all remember at the beginning of the pandemic in April, there are 2 days in which oil price is actually zero or even slightly negative. And now we are facing such a very different extreme situation. This 350% increase is the largest increase for any 2-year period since 1970s. In June, we witnessed the price of natural gas in Europe increased by 60% in just 2 weeks. Fuel shortages are unfolding around the world. And we are seeing this is have a huge political and social implication in Sri Lanka, Ghana, Peru, Ecuador, and elsewhere. These shortages due to the high gas prices is really an issue that is threatening our recovery. The world is in the middle of global energy crisis. The war, as well as commodity price increase, could worsen the global inflation spike and increase further social instability. We could see further deterioration in living standard, particularly for poor and vulnerable households. Low-income commodity importing countries are likely to be particularly affected, which could lead to further social and political unrest. We have already seen the surge in inflation leading to faster than anticipated global monetary policy tightening, in which many of advanced countries, especially those of you sitting around this table, as well as emerging economies, are already increasing, elevating the interest rate significantly. Given tightened global monetary policy, as well accompanied by liquidity condition, emerging countries will need to be increasingly vigilant, which is going to create vulnerability coming from capital outflow and increase in the cost of financing. So the triple threat of war, surging commodity prices, and increased global inflation that can also increase and creating a real spillover to debt, not only for the low-income countries, but also in the middle-income countries, or even advanced economy. We are starting before pandemic and then because of pandemic as already using our physical space that have the implication of increasing debt position. And now, with this triple threat, this is going to be even more a very dire complex to be managed. Around 60% of low-income countries are already in or near debt distress, while dozen developing countries may be unable to meet debt payment over the next year. So this is not only just 1-2 exceptional cases. This is becoming a widespread. This is becoming the issue that finance minister and central bank governor together with international organization, multilateral institution need to be concerned. These significant challenges are on top of the existing unsolved global problem, as we are all discussing in the past 2 years. That is the COVID-19 pandemic, climate change and climate mitigation and adaptation, and also the existing debt sustainability in many low-income countries. These are all creating a significant hurdle to our shared goal, which is Indonesia presidency is already chosen at that time when we are continuing this presidency from the Italy. That is, we want to see 2022 recover together, recover stronger. So we, the G20 Forum, come together, again tested with this very critical and complex situation. We are facing another critical time for global economy. That's why the expectation and the hope for this group of countries is even higher. While we coming together is important, we also have to work together to determine how our challenges are to be addressed. During our presidency, I have to express really high appreciation personally to all of you as well as a country who preside this G20. Many of you on our bilateral consultation and communication continue supporting Indonesia presidency and our agenda. This is really a good hope, a strong hope for all of us to be able to continue working together. We need to go further. We need to develop concrete action and also demonstrate the spirit of cooperation, collaboration, and consensus. Our shared G20 history shows us we are capable of this. Like in 2008-2009, when the global economy was in dangers of collapse from global financial crisis, the G20 took action to ensure global financial stability. In 2020 and 2021, when COVID-19 swept the world, the G20 again rose to the challenge, delivering action for vulnerable countries facing debt issues, ensuring vaccination worldwide, and committing extraordinary policy support for our most vulnerable people and small businesses. This was not easy. This is not an easy time given our diverse membership of the G20 and also the differences in our position views as well as experiences on many important issues. But these differences is also our strength. We represent the most systematically important countries to the global economy. And the action we take will have a very important effect to all nations around the world. So I'm sure you are all aware that the world is watching us closely. There are high expectations for this forum, for this meeting, especially because this is the finance minister and central bank governor, that we are hoping that we can discuss and talk more on a less political but real technical and issue which is matter for all of us. We need to act together to demonstrate why G20 deserves its reputation as the premier forum for international cooperation. As we reach the halfway point of our Indonesia G20 presidency, and despite all our differing positions, we have been able to make tangible progress on some critical issue. And that's, I really appreciate and want to express my appreciation and thank you to all of you who support Indonesia presidency. Within our G20 presidency, we actually continue to deliver despite this challenging environment. We see our role to be an honest broker. We aim to build bridges. Indonesia will continue relentlessly discussing, reaching out, communicating, consulting, seek your advice so that we will continue building bridges and we are not building walls. Because we firmly believe that the world is even more and more desperately need more and more bridges and connection, not wall and war. We need to strengthen the spirit of multilateralism. We need to also build safety net for our future cooperation and also continue strengthening our commitment to the shared global prosperity. We are acutely aware that the cost of our failure to work together is more than we can afford. The humanitarian consequences for the world, and especially for many low-income countries, would be catastrophic. We have taken positive steps toward action. During our meeting in April, we agreed that we must adapt our agenda to ensure macroeconomic and financial stability is maintained. We have committed to take prompt collective action and use all available tools to address the current economic and financial challenges we are facing. Since then, we have made significant progress in several areas. We have agreed to establish a new financial intermediary fund, or FIF, for pandemic prevention, preparedness, and response, which is housed at the World Bank, and with initial commitment of $1.1 billion already secured. I know many of you in our bilateral meetings stating that you are all also expressing this support, the support to FIF, and also considering or deciding to contribute. So I really appreciate that decision. And we do hope to see more and more of you is going to join this FIF. We have developed a G20 presidency note on policy setting for exit strategy to support recovery and addressing scarring effect to secure future growth. A Resilient and Sustainability Trust, RST, has been established under the IMF. And thank you, Kristalina, for your strong leadership and also passion to assist low-income and debt-distressed countries to build resilience to external shock, such as climate change and pandemic, and now even with food and energy crisis. We have seen the first meeting of the Creditors Committee to discuss debt relief for Zambia and the prospect of progress in other countries with similar needs. We have seen progress in addressing the action identified in the G20 Sustainable Finance Roadmap, including developing a transition framework and ways to enhance the accessibility and affordability of sustainable finance. We have discussed a number of case studies of transition activity or initiative to achieve just and affordable transition, such as the energy transition mechanism, involving collaboration among countries, MDBs, private sector, and philanthropies. We have made progress in developing ways to leverage private sector participation in sustainable infrastructure investment and mobilize financing to cities and regions. We have made progress on a framework for digital financial inclusion, especially to increase financial access for underserved groups, especially women, youth, and small-medium enterprises. Despite all those concrete progress and achievements, the G20 has been criticized for failing to deliver action. I think many of you has been now interviewed by CNBC, Bloomberg, and they are asking whether we are going to be able to deliver action. So it is clear that we must step up our efforts and do more. This is despite all those achievements and progress. We need to collectively find ways to contribute to build bridges between each other and also to recapture the spirit of the G20 to deliver more action. I really appreciate a lot of support, especially from the previous presidency, Italy, and the next presidency, India, that we both continue communicate. Even I get a lot of advice from the previous presidency, that is Saudi. So thank you so much for all your both personal as well as institutional support to all of us, which is facing this very complex task. We still need to show the world that we deserve to keep our reputation as the premier economic forum for international cooperation. This should be done through addressing the current crisis that we are facing and working to prevent any further crisis. And the best way to show the world is by sharing with them an update from this opportunity to assure you our intention to get the result that can be communicated clearly to all outside stakeholders. Given the circumstances we are facing, we are trying to find the best solution for the format of the update that we will share. We can promise you that we are not trying to circumvent any processes. We continue communicate, reach out, consult with you all indiscriminately, all of you. I really appreciate the work from our deputies, and I also appreciate many of you which is responding positively. We are flexibly trying to find the best solution for the situation in our consultation with all members. As a group, we are in this situation together. This is no playbook. This means that we must be creative in finding solutions. And then it is really that we are inviting you here in Bali. Bali is an island in which so many artists, everything can be touched to become beautiful. Whether this is ceramic, whether we are talking about bamboo, you can see all over places that everything is always in a very artistic because of the artists here in Bali. So I do hope that many of you, by being here, or even if you are in distance but virtually participating, you are going to get a little bit sprinkle of this magic artists so that we are going to make situation better and better. It is likely that we are all need to update where we end up in sharing the document from this presidency. While it is true that our ultimate this is ultimately the presidency decision on what need to be included in the document, we are all very much want to have all members support to this document, in which we can share what we cover in our discussion, what we've already achieved, and what is the future of our focus. Our to-do list over the next 2 days is not a small task. We will focus not only on the emerging issue facing the global economy, but also aim to progress all our agenda to support global economy and also achieving strong, sustainable, inclusive, and balanced growth. We have set a combination of 7 important agenda to achieve that goal. We will discuss the current global situation and its risk and how to address the key global issues. This includes how we provide greater energy and ensure food security and sustainability. We will reiterate our commitment to deal with the COVID-19 pandemic and ensure we are better prepared for the next pandemic. We must continue to assist vulnerable countries manage their debt and to close the financing gap they face. We need to improve productivity and strengthen financial stability and regulation while improving financial inclusion for financially vulnerable and undeserved groups. On a global tax agenda, we will discuss how to make progress on more stable and fairer international tax architecture. On climate, we must increase sustainable financing to achieve our climate goals. We also discuss how to revitalize infrastructure investment as well as many other important areas of action. So coming together here today is really a big step forward in working through our differences, in position and in building bridges toward each other. I hope I can count on you all to find ways that we can maintain the G20 strong track records and working collaboratively to deal with this global crisis. This means that when our meeting ends tomorrow, we will have been able to find a way to reach consensus on what we can do together with the spirit of cooperation and collaboration, how to safeguard the global economy. It is not exaggerating to say that millions and millions, if not even billions, of people are depending on us. So we must show the world that the G20 deserves its reputation. Thank you so much. So let us start with our first session. We will now begin session 1 of today's meeting on global economy. And as I mentioned in my opening remarks, since last time we mentioned in my opening remarks, since last time we